After doing this for many, many years, I've learned a lot of things. I call it things that I've learned from people who know. From walking with Magic Johnson and hearing what he thought about failure, to sitting in Lee Iacocca's living room and talking about what real success is, or to be with the best humanitarians and finding how these people literally gave their lives. So the Dream Academy Live is a pre-session before the study. As you guys know that will stay for the study, this place will be packed here in just a little while. But I want to open it up to a group beforehand who just want to dialogue with me and take their life to another level. How many of you just want to take your life to a whole nother level, okay? So we have your notes. If everybody would lift your notes up, okay? Tonight we're talking about walking with wisdom. This is Confucius. He says, by 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, say reflection. According to him, he says that's the noblest. Second, by imitation, say imitation. According to him, which is the easiest. And third, by experience. Okay? Somebody say experience. Now, I really want you to pay attention to this tonight. Because I find that a lot of people, they become 30 years of age, 40 years of age, and they kind of just stop in what they think that they are supposed to learn. And they think that now that they are kind of like fixed at 30 or 40, and that's just what life is. But I am finding that true success many times comes in your 50s, in your 60s, in your 70s, and your 80s. I mean, you look at Joan Rivers. Into her 80s, she was everywhere. I mean, she was on like QVC, Home Shopping Network, comedy shows, E! Channel. And if you would listen to some of her interviews, she was feeling like she was just finding her way. And I have been saying for years, there's a difference between living life by design, say design, and living life by default, say default. And design is truly God's design, but it's also us following God's design and using wisdom, okay? So we don't have to live by default like a lot of our relatives do. And then our relatives may say, it's this person's fault, it's your dad's fault, or it's your uncle's fault, or it's this person who abused me's fault. And then we start thinking about whose fault is my default. I want you to actually say that. Say, whose fault is my default? Now, wisdom is awesome. It's like having a lot of keys that opens doors. If you go to some great buildings, you see a janitor walking around with keys so big that they're almost dragging their pants down. Wisdom can open up doors to buy houses. Wisdom can open doors to keep your relationship going. Wisdom can help you turn your setbacks into a comeback. Wisdom can take your life to a whole other level. So wisdom defined, we write, you can look at the notes. The ability to think and act utilizing knowledge, say knowledge, experience, say understanding, common sense, and insight. Now, if wisdom was so easy, more people you know would have a grand life. It is a fact that close to 80% of people come to the end of their life and say, I did not reach my goals. It did not happen for me. So if this was so simple, like if you were waiting for me to say something even more profound right now, then how come more people don't have a great life? Because wisdom is the ability to think, utilize knowledge, experience, understanding, common sense, and insight. Now, I want to just make you think for a second. I know it's easy to kind of nurse it, curse it, and rehearse it of the negative things we've all been through. How many of you would admit you've been in a relationship that you're like, yikes, I almost wish I didn't go through that one? Go ahead and lift your hands, or you are lying in my meeting. There are people I wish I never gave my phone number to. Come on, people. Back in the days when we gave numbers, wrote them out. But even from stuff that we've done that is wrong, we can extract wisdom. Agreed? Even from working at jobs that we didn't like, we can extract wisdom. So what I believe that can happen to you at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever age you are, you can extract wisdom from all these experiences you've been through, and you can get a little more wise. Henry Ford said it this way. He says, failure gives me the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. So I don't want you guys, look at me, to be getting bothered at what didn't go right. I want us to say, what can we learn? I will brag on my friend, Robert Downey, who is my brother. He is my brother. And go through the newsstands, and shout out to Robert if you're watching this on YouTube. Go through the newsstands and see Vanity Fair where it says the highest paid actor in the world, because it was back in the late 90s where he was on the cover of Newsweek, where it looked like his life was just blowing up because he could not break through certain things that he's very honest about. And he is one person that I plan on bringing to the Dream Academy to talk to us about his journey. But he decided to get better. See, by using wisdom, you can go from nowhere to now here. Did you just catch what I said? So you can look at your life and you say, man, I messed up there. Probably. I probably shouldn't have done that. Maybe. But according to wisdom, the idea, wisdom defined, we can gain knowledge, experience, common sense. You know what I love about some 70 and 80 years old people that get older? Some of them just tell it like it is. Come on, people. They will just shoot straight with you. It's like the spirit of George Burns. Wisdom defined, combining knowledge, experience, and deep understanding. Wisdom produces tolerance for uncertainties of life and its ups and downs. Wisdom is an awareness of how things play out over time. I remember a really pretty girl came up to me in 1999 from my group. We were meeting at the London, which at that time was the Bellage. And she says, Tim, this is amazing. I know it's going to happen. I'm going to have an Academy Award within 12 months. She wasn't even in acting classes. Come on, people. Was she pretty? Yes. Was she Miss whatever? Yes, from her hometown. But she didn't want to hear what I had to say, because she thought I was raining on her parade, because she thought life would just sprinkle magical dust on her because she's pretty. Come on, somebody. And it would happen. That's not how it works. There's something called the law of the harvest. You got to plow the ground, you plant the seed, you water the seed, and then you reap the harvest. Somebody say you plow. You plant, you water, you harvest. And part of the plowing is in the wisdom that you're getting. Part of the planting of the seed is in the wisdom you're getting. Wisdom may be working a side job you don't feel like working. You're learning from working that job you hate. You're like, I do not like being a bartender and having these jokers bother me. Come on, somebody. You can grow wisdom. You can grow insight. You can grow in knowledge, okay? Right at the end here, wise people generally share an optimism that life's problems can be solved and experience a certain amount of calm in facing difficult situations. I'm going to tell you a secret that a lot of my friends know. It's hard to really throw me off. Charlene, is that true? It's hard to throw me off. Because your urgent doesn't mean it's my urgent. Oh my gosh, 911. Airport, red alert. Doesn't mean that's red alert for me. Maybe you're tripping, I'm not. See, all of us have had at least one member in our family that wants to go 911 on us, and that's not how you're feeling. But when you are a wise person and grow in wisdom, biblically the Bible says that the peace of God can umpire your heart. What does that mean? It's calling balls and strikes. Your peace is saying, I ain't tripping. I'm not going to get dramatic in the midst of the drama. Like I could be on a plane and it looks like it's going down, like for real. Come on, I've been traveling all these years. I've been on planes that look like they are going down. I don't even trip because it ain't my time to go. So people could be like screaming. I'm like, I don't even trip. I'm like, holla. Come on, somebody. I've been in Nigeria. Look at me. And the plane is just like shaking. It looks like bolts were falling. Oh, come on, somebody. I ain't going anywhere. And so we don't get dramatic in the midst of the drama because we have packed ourselves down with wisdom. Just say, I'm becoming wise. It says in our notes, our brains are wired with the ability to develop wisdom. Psychology Today explains that unlike animals that respond to immediate impulses, the human brain is wired so that we can plan, we can evaluate alternative actions, and we can refrain from doing things that we will later regret. Let me tell you something. I get around a lot of men that say all men cheat. I mean, really good guys. I don't like that answer. This guy said to me, you're trying to say that all men don't cheat. If they have an opportunity, how many of you in this room disagree and say men do not have to be cheaters? Lift your hands. How many believe that women do not have to be cheaters? How many of you know we don't have to just follow our impulses, but we can weigh things through wisdom? Try that. Say, I weigh things through wisdom. In the Bible, in Proverbs, it says you should weigh the matter. Look at me. The other day, I was driving by my mother's house in La Mirada, California, and I saw this thing I'd never seen there before. And it said, if you turn on right, it's going to cost you $361. How they came up with that number, I don't know. But before I saw it, I started to turn on right, and then I stopped. Said I went like, yikes, like little kids do. And then I put my car in reverse. I'm like, do. So a lady comes by, and she flips me off. And she looks at me like, stupid. Okay, why? Come on, people. Look how pleasant I am. Come on. Look how nice I am. Look how gentle I look. Do I really need to be flipped off because I made a mistake? Now, if I'm moving on my impulses, maybe I'm going to go back at her or get angry. But if I have wisdom way down deep on the inside of me, how many know I can weigh my choices and realize it's not even worth it to get entangled? Let me tell you what I'm going to help you with. The wiser you get, the more you will not get entangled in silly situations. He said that she said that you said that I said that you said that I said. Ain't nobody got time for that. I guarantee you start walking wisdom, Thanksgiving will look different. Didn't Mom tell you to bring apple pie? This is so throwing me off when you know that Mom is totally allergic to pumpkin pie. Your wisdom will umpire you and rule you from the inside. Your wisdom will give you patience. How many would like a little more patience? Just lift your hands. In my notes, I say, if you walk with the wise, you become wise. But a companion of fools will suffer harm. Proverbs 13:20. I like to say this. There's only 365 days in the year. How many of you know that? We only have 24 hours in a day. How many of you know that? So you have a choice to walk with wise people and stack up more wisdom. Go like this, go like this. Go. Stack it up, stack it up, stack it up. Come on, try it, try it. Come on. Some of you aren't playing the game. Stack it up, stack it up. You could stack up more wisdom, or you can become a companion of fools, and your life will unravel. If I life coached you one-on-one, and I make you fill out all the homework assignments that I make people fill out, I would guarantee that some of your lost momentum has come with the people that you placed around your life. Because people can suck the life out of you. The U.S. Navy spends millions and millions of dollars every year taking barnacles off the bottom of a ship, because barnacles, even if the ship is strong going forward, it can suck it down and cause it to lag. So many of us who are good-natured, good people, we put barnacles on the bottom of our dreams, and people have sucked our dreams down. I want you to say, I'm learning. Look at the bottom, association and influence. The people we associate with have the ability to influence us, and vice versa. Now, just because your parents, listen to me, didn't like white people doesn't mean you can't like white people. Just because your parents didn't like black people doesn't mean you can't like black. Why are you saying this? Because that's how it is in some cultures. Just because your parents didn't believe in going snow skiing doesn't mean you can't ski. Just because your parents thought super small and they wanted to live in an apartment their whole life doesn't mean you're not going to own 4 houses. It reminds me of that George Lopez quote when his tia, his aunt, said to him, George, Jorge, you're going to end up on the streets with these big dreams. He said, I did. The Hollywood Walk of Fame. If you walk with the wise, you grow wise yourself. Say that. Say, if I walk with the wise, I become wise myself. All right, now I got to help you guys here. I have found that successful people have a stride. If you're going to travel with me on the road, and Randall knows this, I'm not into lollygagging. I was just in Hawaii speaking, and I was up at 4:15 in the morning. You say, why? That's 7:15 West Coast time, Pacific. So at 4:15, I was looking for a friend. So I text one of my friends who was on the island, who was on Pacific Coast time because he's from this area. And sure enough, he was awake. I said, let's walk. Man, we walked towards Diamond Head. We walked for 4 hours. We were mixing it up, helping each other, shaking each other up. Come on, people. By 6:15, we were like, hey, come on, somebody. Every day I'm hustling. Boy, you're lucky. Look at all these things that have happened in your life. Boy, you're lucky. The harder you work, the luckier you get. You know I can help you do? I could help you really hustle. But hustle in the right direction. And a lot of my friends will watch this, and shout out to Russell Simmons if he sees this. Russell Simmons said to me, he says, Tim, you just see the stuff that worked. There's like 9 things I threw up against the wall that did not work. He said, but I just got up and hustled again. See, that's why I want to really challenge some of you. Quit tripping on what failed in 87. We're in 214. Don't be tripping on what happened in 211. We're in 2014. How many of you want to grow from it, become wiser, become better, become stronger, and whatever didn't kill us made us stronger? Go ahead and clap if you caught that. Come on, you people. Oprah Winfrey says, surround yourself with people who lift you higher. George Washington, president, says it is better to be alone than in bad company. Can I stop there for a minute? Because just because someone hails from your own hometown doesn't mean they ought to be your bestie. Like, how wild is this? We're both in Hollywood and we're originally from Alabama. Let's take Pilates together and hang out 24/7. Really? Maybe not. Just because, look at me, somebody has one little thing in common with you, like they're your relative, doesn't mean you should always be hanging out. I need you to find people this year, watch me, that go stride for stride. Anybody that knows me well knows I'm not a lollygagger. I don't like to voice my problems. How are you doing? My right leg could be blown off. I'm probably not going to tell you. It's just the way it's going to be. I don't like to lollygag. I don't like to just dwell. I don't like, because a lot of that is because I was from a bunch of relatives who loved to play the victim. Okay, now I know this sounds very elementary, but let me just help you with something. I'm going to South Africa tomorrow. I will not be bored on the airplane. Everyone says like this, oh my gosh, it's such a long flight. Really? Sounds like a library to me. I will finish that big old fat Richard Branson book by the time I hit Joburg. Why into Branson? Because the brother's going to the moon. Because he did Virgin Records. Because he started in the magazine business, Virgin Atlantic, right? He's Richard Branson. He's a rock star. He gives away about 40% of his money away because he said, I got so much faith that more's coming back. Seems like such a long flight. Make sure and really drug yourself. That's one way to look at a long flight. Wow, it's so difficult being in traffic. LA's traffic. Looks like a library to me. Looks like self-help CDs. It looks like Tim Story CDs piping into you, educating you, helping you, stirring you up, building your faith, preparing you for the great things that 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 are going to bring you. Go ahead and clap. I'm talking to a bunch of dreamers up in here. Come on now. All right, you could be the right person with the right plan, but have the wrong partners. You've heard me say that before. Okay? Qualities of a wise person. A study by leading psychologists identified these common traits among people considered to be wise. Let's take the wise test and find out how wise you are. Number one, you don't have to be old to be wise. Okay, now I'm going to break a couple old wives' tales and myths. The older you get, the wiser you get. Baloney. I know a lot of older people who got stuck at 30. You better lift your hands or you are lying up in here in this building. I'm going to tell you something my uncle used to tell us. Never give up. Never, ever give up. It's like, yo, that's Winston Churchill. See, a lot of like aunts and uncles and grandparents, they stole like one quote from their generation. Come on. And they just rode that sucker for decades. You're like, oh, he's so smart. I'm not putting any of your relatives down. But a lot of them, they didn't grow. They didn't learn. They weren't stacking up books. They weren't stacking up wisdom. They weren't learning about places, faces, spaces like you are. They did not expand themselves. See, I believe that you could be the person in your family that takes your family to a whole different level. Clap your hands like you're going to take your family to a whole different level. Come on now. All right, wisdom emerges not from experience itself, but from reflecting thoughtfully on the lessons gained from experience. Hey, we've all made mistakes that then we went and did it again. Come on, I'm pausing. Me too. Let me come back to the mic. We've all made mistakes, right? We came back. And then you dated a guy just like that again. Or you dated a woman just like that again. Or you let somebody manipulate you again because you're a nice person, so they manipulated you. But wisdom says, hey, I'm learning from this lesson. I'm gaining experience. Somebody say experience. Listen, we really are so into being young, we're not understanding it took some of us to be this age to be this awesome. I like where I'm at this age. I really do. Like me at 30, when I first started the Hollywood Bible study and all these people, powerful people like yourselves would come in here, I was kind of like afraid, like, oh, I hope I say everything right. No, that's not me anymore. Because I know I'm packing juice. Do you think Michael Jordan gets on the court and goes, I hope I could be Mike? No, he sticks his tongue out, come on somebody, and made it work. See, some of you have almost cursed the fact that you got older. But look at the weight that you carry now. Look at the stuff that's inside you. Look at the pressure you've been through, and it did not knock you down. And when I say that, I'm not just talking to 30-year-olds. I'm talking to you're going to be in your 20s and had gone through a lot of hell and learned from that hell, and now you have experience to get through. Just say, that sounds like me. Cultivating wisdom is a deliberate choice that people can make regardless of age or intelligence. That's what I'm telling you. It's a choice to get wiser. I want you to look at me. It's a choice to get wiser. I have to really help my mother. My mother is 83. A lot of you actually know my mother personally. But I have to teach my mother a lot because she has all these old ways of looking at things that are not my reality. Timmy, be careful. Me and your aunt, okay, we've been talking. You should stop traveling. They're shooting down airplanes. Not everywhere. It's more dangerous to drive in a car than it is to fly in an airplane. But if I listen to my aunt and my mother, come on somebody, who have come together, Timmy, my mother may say, Timmy, listen to me. Be careful. I see these people you get around you, be careful. Be careful. Be careful. I take some of it in, I should be careful. But her fears don't have to be my fears. Her old patterns don't have to be my own pattern. Well, why are you saying that? Because some of you need to break some of those cycles from your past so we can go into the greatness of your now and into your present. Somebody clap like you're catching this today. Say, I don't have to be old to be wise. All right, so we're talking about wise people. A wise person sees the world in shades of gray rather than just black and white. Oh, I love to bother some of you. Because I know a lot of people just see things in black and white. Look at me, I'm acting, I'm an actor. This is the way it is. And the parts I was raised in, this is. Life's not always black and white. Why do good people die early? Why does a 12-year-old kid cross the street and get hit by a car and die? I don't know. It's called the miscellaneous department. A person with wisdom, you don't always look for absolutes of that's black, that's white, that's right, that's wrong. Maybe sometimes things are still being figured out. Why do you say that? Because some of you are there in your life right now. Okay, I'm going to try this Tim Story guy right now. He's doing okay. I'm kind of liking him. I'm kind of vibing him, but kind of sort of. Let's see if I get my conclusion within the next 12 minutes. Really? 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 You're that special? You're going to get the conclusion in 12 minutes, and I'm going to put the magic dust on you, and you've figured out your life? Life is working it out. Life is why am I here in Hollywood? Life is why did I get rejected on 39 auditions in a row? Come on, somebody. Life is, why did she get the part? She sucks. Come on, somebody. I won. It's not just black. It's not just white. Sometimes it's in the middle. Sometimes we're figuring it out. Do you know how beautiful life is when you think about it? To sometimes life, you're just figuring it out. It doesn't always just have to be solved in a 30-minute TV show. That's why some people run from religion. You know, I came to church, Tim. I really did my best. I'm not going to lie. I came looking for answers. And you didn't get them in 30 minutes, and now that's where your attention span is? I think we're all figuring this thing out. Somebody lift your hands if you feel like you're figuring it out. Say this, say, he who walks with wise people becomes wise himself. I'm going to break this down, and then I'm going to interview someone who's wise. Listen to me. To stack up wisdom means it's like a library. It's like a library. What I have now from being around brilliant people like yourself, I got a library, yo. I was just driving, and this man called me frantically because he's having a problem. He goes, you should probably pull over for this one. I go, no, I think I can handle this while driving. Because to him, it was like, oh my gosh, this is an out of control problem. Pull over for this one. And I promise you, while getting ready for this meeting, in 12 minutes, I gave him an answer. And he goes, oh my gosh, that is so powerful. Do you know why? Because I got a library of wisdom. When you have a library of wisdom, it's like you're a locksmith walking around like the janitor, like I said earlier, unlocking stuff like this, like pew, 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 like this. Pew, 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 pew. Like your brother's like, oh my gosh, I'm so, it's not working, it's not gonna, but you could just give one quick answer that could change your brother's life because you have a library of wisdom and you just unlock him. It's like having keys. Reminds me of the guy with the invention that was missing his teeth. He was missing his teeth and he had this invention. He was a janitor of this place I was speaking. He came running to me. He was sweating. He was missing his teeth. Well, why do you keep saying he was missing his teeth? Because the idea that he got him some teeth. Tim Story goes, I don't mean to bother you, but oh my God, I've been waiting for you for 6 months. I have this invention. I mean, he, and some of you have some great ideas. I've talked to some of you. He laid out this invention. It was like this. Oh. He said, I've talked to 5 people, and they all said it's no good. He goes, what do you think? Guess what they were? They were all 5 family members that did not get it. Oh, I got it. I hooked him up. He made some money. He got some teeth. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Then he got out of debt. Playing golf at Sherwood Country Club with one of my friends. His house is hanging over Sherwood Country Club. And I go, tell me again how you got that house. He says, you're just saying that because you want to hear something good about yourself. I said, I'm telling you, I don't even know what you're about to tell me. He goes, you don't know the story? He said, I was sitting in a Tim Story meeting, and you talked about the difference between a good idea and a God idea. The good ideas may come to pass, and God ideas will come to pass. He said, and I got a God idea, and he says, and that's how I got that house right there. See, somebody, look at me, is going to get some wisdom. Look at me. And you're going to let that wisdom marinate. It's going to settle. It's going to feel like it's settling for so long. My wisdom is settling too long. It's marinating, people. But then the right door is going to open at the right time. Look at me. And you're going to go like this. Pew, pew, pew. Holla. Holla. Clap your hands if you're learning something. Florence, come on up here. Give Miss Florence LaRue a big clap. I'm going to interview her. And you look fantabalistic. Just stand there. Don't touch that mic yet. Give her another clap. Does she look great? Florence is in a group called The Fifth Dimension. Give her a big clap, Florence LaRue. Now, tell us a couple of the big hits you had and how that influenced a lot of people. Tell us that part first.
Well, we have 6 Grammys, and some of them are Up, Up, and Away, Aquarius, Stone Soul Picnic, One Less Bell to Answer. Let's see, Last Night I Didn't Get to Sleep, Wedding Bell Blues.
A lot that we were all raised on, and you still hear those songs nonstop. So here's the interesting thing, Florence. When you were young, what did you want to be?
All my life when I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher and an actress, be in the movies.
Mm-hmm. And then, when did you get a break? Was there a time in your teens, your 20s, your 30s that you got a break that your career started to take off?
Well, actually, when I finished college, I got my teaching credential, and friends entered me in the beauty contest so I could be discovered for the movies because I didn't know what to do. Well, I was blessed to win quite a few contests, and when I was in the Miss Bronze California contest, I won the talent. And the gentleman was putting together a group, asked me to be in a group. I said, nope, first of all, I'm not a singer. I do not want to be in a group. I'm in college. I'm working 8 hours a day. No. Well, it was Lamont McLemore, and he convinced me, and I've been singing ever since.
Okay. So, what I taught about wisdom, how it's important to walk with the right people, how important is that truly, that we must walk with the right people?
It's very important. I found that the older I get, now that I'm 72, I've learned to become humble enough to admit what I don't know, smart enough to learn what I don't know, and wise enough to surround myself with people who know.
Very, very nice. Okay, so Fifth Dimension, you guys are celebrating what anniversary? How many years?
Next year, I'm the only remaining original member. I'll be celebrating 50 years.
50 years. They're still doing shows all over the world. Give me one of the secrets to the group's longevity.
Oh, wow. God, first of all, is really the secret because we didn't plan this. If you're going to have a gospel group, you'll have 5 gospel singers. If it's an R&B group, 5 R&B singers. We had 5 people with 5 very different voices. We had very good arrangers, and that really put us in the right place. And we were different because at that time, people thought we were white because they didn't hear us. They expected black people to sing only R&B, and we didn't sound like that. We didn't try to. That's just the way we sound. I wish I could sing like Aretha. But the Lord showed me later, there's only one Aretha, there's only one Florence.
I like that. Okay? All right, one last question, and then I'm going to see if you'll sing a song for us. And then, Joseph, you'll come up. What's it like to be on top? I get to ask people that. What's it like, to win Grammys, to be on stage with Michael Jackson, and all the stuff that you guys have done over the years? Seriously, what does it feel like to be on top? What's the sensation?
It feels like a successful businessman going to work, and I'll tell you why. Because it's all I did, and I didn't stop and think, oh, I'm on top. We toured with Frank Sinatra, I knew Sammy Davis and people like that, but that was my life, and it's not until now that I reflect, oh my goodness, we've been to the White House 3 times, we've done this, we've done that, and I'm very proud of it.
Don't you love this answer? Because it's not like she got somewhere and went, okay, look where I am. Got there. But you're saying later in life you reflected and said, look how far God and life brought me. One of the last thing you want to say to young dreamers and the tens of thousands of young dreamers who watch me all over the world, what is one thing that dreamers can learn?
The one thing that Tim always says, it's great to dream big, but it's also hard work.
So you got to work your dream. Give Florence a big clap.